We're on the road. Where transportation goes, community grows. Welcome to On the Road with the MTA. And welcome to another edition of On the Road with the MTA. I'm Jay Gibbons alongside with Stephanie Kay. How are you?
I am great, and I just love that we kind of go together like peas and carrots.
Yes, we're like peas and carrots. I heard that in a movie somewhere, wasn't it?
I have
Forrest
heard
Gump.
That.
Yeah.
Yes, we have Jay, we have Stephanie Kay on MTA. It's a great day. But yeah, we just love going out in the community and finding the wonderful things that we can help our community with. You know, our next door neighbors.
Yep.
And I love, how long have we been doing this now, Jay? Just over a year, isn't it?
Yes, this is, we're over 80 episodes now or something.
Really?
So this, I think, is episode 81 or 82 or something like that. I'm losing track. That's how many we're doing.
I know. You think it would get more difficult to find the wonderful people out there doing stuff that we'd come to an end, but that's not the case.
Yeah.
There's always somebody that we're meeting, something that they're doing with the community that's like an event or, you know, free activities. And that's why I'm so glad to be able to introduce you to our guest today. His name is Mark McWilliams. He is a director of the vaccine advocacy of the Disability Rights of Michigan. I mean, Mark has been working with disability in the community in Michigan, California, West Virginia, as an attorney since 1990 and served at the DRM in several leadership roles over the last 25 years. This man's been in the business.
Wow.
So he knows what he's doing. And he's also married to a beautiful wife, Kathy, in Lansing. But you're with us today. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Jay.
Hi. Hey. Now, we've heard about the Disability Network of Michigan, and we've had that on. What is the difference between that and the Disability Rights of Michigan?
So the Disability Network is a Center for Independent Living up in Flint. Disability Rights Michigan is a statewide organization. We're set up as a private nonprofit organization. We're nonpartisan, but we are mandated to exist by federal and state law to serve the entire state of Michigan.
Wow, well, that's a lot. Whole state of Michigan. Well, I know
we have it. Yes.
I know you're doing something very special right now. It's free vaccination help, and that's important too because what's COVID like right now? I thought that the numbers were going down, but then I just heard this morning they're on the up again. So Where is it right now? Do you know, Jay?
They're on the increase with the newest variant, which I think is what, BA.2, I think, or something.
Oh man, really? Do you know anything about that, Mark?
Yeah, and you know that those numbers are going up, and we're hoping that the numbers will go down. One way to do that is by getting your vaccine.
Sure. Well, I know I was vaccinated twice with the Pfizer, and then I had a booster, which was the Moderna. But now there's another booster, right? Is there something more we can have?
There's a fourth one that they're having that you can have now. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. Yeah. So you can get that pretty much anywhere, correct?
You can get that if you're you get priority if you're over 50, like me. Or if you have a disability, you also can get priority. But yes, you can get that booster pretty much anywhere.
Well, that's for many of us that can just drive and get in the car and go where we want to go. But there's a lot of people that have disabilities or have a difficult time getting transportation, and that's where you come in. So talk about this free vaccination help that you have going on May 14th.
Sure. So we're doing a couple of things. Stephanie, we're doing a clinic on May 14th in Flint. We're going to be working with some local community folks to put on an event, really from 12 to 3. That's on Saturday. And we don't have the address fixed just yet, but it is in Flint. And we urge people to call us to get more information as we get closer.
Well, give us that number. If they can call you, what's the number?
Yeah. Yep. It's 800 288 5923.
Okay, and they can call at any time. Is it like
during business hours? They can also you can leave a message anytime, or you can also go to our website, and that's drmich.org.
I did go to your website. I saw how nice it was. You have so many resources. You have the vaccine advocacy. You have employment to know your rights. You have guardianship rights and alternatives. You have special education, voting resources, international rights. So you have, or institutional rights. That's a lot more than just the vaccine. So who would actually take advantage of that? Like, who would you suggest go to your website and get some of these resources for their needs?
So if you have a disability, or if you're a family member, your parent, or if you're a teacher or a nurse, or anybody has any questions or is working with someone who has questions about any disability rights or the services that you have that you can get as a person with a disability, we urge you to come take a look. The services are free of charge. they're confidential. So if you contact us, we don't share any information about the fact that you contacted us or about you with anyone. And you can talk to a live person. If you call during business hours and you have a question, we have advocates who talk to people on the phone all day long.
Now, on May 14th, when you're doing the free vaccines, which is confidential, which is wonderful, can anybody use this, or do they have to be disabled?
No, anybody can come. We hope a lot of people with disabilities will come, and we hope that family members will come. But anybody can come and get you signed up and get your vaccine.
Well, you also mentioned something else that's very important. A lot of people want to get a vaccination, but they cannot get there. They don't have the transportation. And I know we've partnered with you, so MTA is going to help get people there. And you will not only arrange for the transportation, but you said if they can't get out of their house for some reason, you will go to their homes to give them the vaccination?
Right. So I'm a lawyer, not a doctor, so I don't actually get the shot myself. Even though
play one on TV.
Sometimes I'm kind of smart enough to do that, but I'm not. So we have a relationship with the state mobile clinic coordinator, and what happens is if you can't get to the clinic, or if you can't get to get a vaccine, if you want to get it somewhere else and you can't get there, you can contact us, and we'll help you arrange for a clinic person to come out and give you a vaccine at your home.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
because,
we have a lot of people. It's surprising. We're starting to get more and more calls. This is a pretty new project. We've been doing this since the middle part of November, and we're finding that a lot of elderly people, a lot of people with disabilities, that, for one reason or another, they can't get out of their house, and so we're trying to help them out by connecting them with the clinic, the state is providing to get them out there. We've probably, since we started up, we've helped over 100 people get vaccinated. Using some of these homebound services, so we want to make that number higher, so
Sure.
that everybody with a disability has access, who wants a vaccine can get one.
Well, that is wonderful. So, are they all the vaccines? I mean, do you have both Pfizer and Moderna? Do you have the very first one if they've never gotten that, or do you have the boosters? Do you have all of them?
Whatever you want.
Really? Goodness, it used to be so hard to get them at first. You could only get the Pfizer at some places, and only Moderna. So awesome. So you'll give them a card as well, and you'll mark on there what their vaccines were, correct?
Yes, and they'll schedule a follow-up. So if you're getting your first shot, if you're getting Moderna or Pfizer, they'll set up an appointment for the follow-up so you can get your second shot.
Well, that's just amazing. I thank you for doing that, because there are a lot of people that cannot get out of their homes. They don't have the transportation, or they don't have the vaccines yet, but they might want one. So once again, give us that phone number.
Yes, 800-288-5923.
I do have that right in front of me on a flyer, and I'll be happy to share that on our Facebook page, because I think this is very important that people have this. So we don't know exactly where the location is for the clinic, but we know it's going to be on Saturday. That's May 14th from 12 until 3. And they can call that number closer to the date to find out more about it. And, we'll also, when you know it, let us know, and we'll put it on our Facebook page for you, and we'll share that information.
I will.
Well, awesome. You have any questions there, Jay? Look like you're going to say something.
Nope, I'm just nodding my head.
No.
Yep, sounds good.
Daddy,
I can hear it.
So, Mark, you've been in the business for 25 years. I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes within the disability field and with the vaccines. So what is something you think is like the most valuable that the disabled has actually been able to have now they didn't have years ago?
It's the fact that people with disabilities are being heard, and for so many years, people with disabilities have been seen but not heard, and now we finally understand that people with disabilities are people first, that disability is a natural part of the life experience, and that the disability community is our community, and we are all part of the same community, and that people with disabilities can, they work competitively, they live in our communities, they have families, they retire, they go on vacations, they do all the same things, and I think that's something that we started realizing with the independent living movement, and with the Americans with Disabilities Act, and so many different aspects of life.
Of course. Something I learned recently, and I guess it was eye-opening for me, is that there's a wide range of disabilities. It doesn't have to be that somebody is in a wheelchair. It could be somebody who has a lot of anxiety. They can't even leave the house because they get so anxious about crowds. And there's just a number of disabilities. And that's important to know, because you might not look at somebody and realize they have a special need. And it's good to be able to know that about people and about yourself and about your loved ones and get the help they need for them.
So here's something that blew my mind recently. So when you think about disability, think about it in terms not just about the person, but about how we have created barriers to people to participate. And the disability really is how we give people access to the community.
Now explain that.
Sure. So if you use a wheelchair,
mm-hmm.
and you go downtown to City Hall, and you realize that City Hall is built with steps.
Sure.
All right. You're considered, when you think about a disability, is the disability the person who is using the wheelchair? Is the disability the fact that there are steps that are creating barriers for people to go into City Hall?
Yeah, you don't think about that, do you? Really?
No, I mean, in fact, and then there's a way of thinking about disability called the social model disability. I mean, so many of the barriers that make people appear disabled are barriers that we as a society have created unwittingly, but barriers that we can do something about.
Well, what can we do as Americans, as in a community, to help with the people that do need some extra care, the disabled? What can we do? You have any suggestions?
Well, yeah, I think the first thing is that we recognize that that's all of us. That all of us to some extent are, have strengths, we have abilities, and we have disabilities as well. And so part of that is understanding that we are all really part of the same community. Listening to people, and not treating people like children, treating people with disabilities as equals, as adults, with many of the same wishes that anybody else would have. And understanding that, listening when someone has a particular support need or an accommodation need, to make sure that you listen to what that person is saying and do your best to try to honor it.
Well, I think it's a lesson for all of us that we should respect everyone and have patience with everyone, especially the elderly. My mom is 93, and sometimes she'll repeat herself, or she'll ask me questions that I've just told her, and she's you just have to learn to have patience, because they're older and they're scared and they're just frightened when you get older like that. And so you have to have grace and respect and patience, and it makes the world a whole lot easier to live in, doesn't it?
And we could use that lesson as well and learn to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. Yes. We were just talking about that before you came on. I was multitasking, and I have a meeting after this, and I was trying to look for my pen and we do so much so quickly that we need to just slow down and take a breath and realize everything will get done, and we have to do it with some patience and maybe a little bit more awareness. Absolutely. Well, you brought a lot to the table here. We really appreciate that, Mark. And so once again, I'm going to make people mark their calendars for May 14th from 12 until 3. They can go and get free vaccinations. Anybody can use it. And you do have transportation for those that might need a little extra help getting there, or you can go to their homes. And I just think that is tremendous. And I can't thank you enough for doing that.
You're welcome.
All right. Was there anything else that you want to cover before we say goodbye to you and let you get back to your busy schedule?
No, thanks so much for having me on.
Well, it's our pleasure. Yeah. Anytime we can help somebody, we always love doing it. That's what Jay and I do.
That's what we're here for.
That's right. So if you ever hear of any other thing going out in the community that's free or helpful services to people, let us know, and we will have you on our podcast as well.
Absolutely. Just drop us an email.
That's right. Where can they do that?
That is podcasts@mtaflint.org.
That's with an S, podcasts.
Yes.
Yes. There you go.
As in plural.
Got it. All right. Well, thank you, Mark. You stay safe out there. Get yourself vaccinated as well, because we need you around. And we will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. And once again, we're going to find something that's going to be interesting, free, helpful, and whatever we can do to help partner with MTA to make this community a better place to live.
Absolutely.
Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to On the Road with the MTA. For more information on our services and community outreach, visit us online anytime at www.mtaflint.org. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The MTA, your community, your connection, your way.